Hey everybody. Well, build day again. This time, first off, sorry about the kind of pukey sunlight color. It's smoky again here, so just gotta deal with it. Anyhow, today, this build is, if you watched my last video, I will put a link up here. My last video showed you that I was building a watch, or well, told you I was going to build a watch for a guy. And this is going to be what it is. He chose everything. Got him upgraded his case a little bit. These are really nice. Drilled lugs, a crown that matches the case, screw down crown. Got an LX bezel on it. And here, his last bezel was so stuck it could barely move. I'll let you listen to that. Like butter, baby. Like butter. Anyway, you're going to love that. These are the hands he chose. Combination. Some black and white merc hands. And fancy second hand. I know you can see it in there. Alright. And the piece de resistance. An OEM Seiko white samurai waffle dial. Beautiful choice, man. Gotta say, that's a gorgeous dial. I'm gonna match it with this chapter ring here. Whoa! The chapter ring that's now. There we go. Gonna match it with that. And, well, away we go. Oh, by the way. And it's going to be on a jubilee with a different clasp. So, away we go. And the only thing I've done here, like I said, is I just put the crown on there so I knew where it was. And I also, I put the bezel on, the bezel gasket in, put the bezel on. I just wanted to make sure everything was working properly the way I wanted. And so I didn't lose it or it didn't get damaged, I also threw the crystal gasket in there. So it's all ready to go. So, foist things foist. Brand new movement. Leave that stem there so we don't lose it. Now always check your movements when you get them. Make sure everything's functioning properly. Everything feels like it's functioning good, you know. It's absolutely the worst when you get something that's not working good. No, everything's good. I haven't yet got a movement that wasn't working, I'm happy to say. So, I don't know what we're going to have to trim off for dial feet on this guy. But, man, that's a nice dial. Man, oh man, that's a nice dial. That's right. Was it on a sticker? What's going on here? Oh, I see. Ha. I didn't see that thing under there, and I was actually trying to pick the dial up. There we go. Now let's see. I think, are we in the right position? I don't think so, because we're going for a 3 o'clock case. So I might actually have to trim those off. Oh, maybe not. I hope not. I think they're in the right place. Yes, sirree. Because I didn't want to have to trim the dial, the feet off there, because that's an OEM dial. And it's gorgeous. Trying out some new gloves here too. They're a little more stuck to my hands. There, that's on there good. Wow, that was, I love it when a plan comes together. If anybody knows where that comes from. First off, it'll date you. Number 2, that's awesome. I missed that show. I always kind of related with Murdoch, the nutcase. Okay, well that's great. I was thinking we'd have to trim some dial feet, but we don't. So that's brilliant. We can go straight to setting some hands. Well, let's let me see, what should we do here? First off, we need to grab a clean piece of Rodico. Always keep your Rodico separate. Like I've got some dirty pieces like this one here. This is just sitting on the table here for, cleaning crap up, right? And I've got a dirty container where I pick out of there cleaner dirty pieces, and then I've got a clean container which I try and keep as clean as possible. Knows that's only used for picking stuff off of dials and picking up picking up hands. I also grabbed some of these. These are absolutely brilliant. What it is kind of a Q-tip, more or less, I guess, but it's tiny. It's just a little silicone ball on the end, and they're just uber sticky. Picks up everything, but doesn't leave any residue at all. So it's great for black dials or any shiny surface where, finishing touches on the hands. These are great, and you can rinse and reuse them. So, not the cheapest thing on my bench. Definitely not the most expensive, but certainly worth it, every penny. Alright, I want to get things set here, so give me just a minute, and I will be right back. Alrighty. Well, here we go. Hand setting time. I just wanted to get things together here. Don't need to waste your time watching that. Me dig through stuff and get things sorted. But let's get at it. What are we doing wrong here, people? Other than knocking everything over. We need to make sure this is turned around. Well, I hope everybody's having a great day. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. There we go. It really helps me out. Or will eventually. I do have many more videos coming. Whoop. We're having to move too far here. way too much coffee already. Can you see that? You know, that's always a problem. There's too much coffee. But come on, you move over. We'll have to do it this way. Hold it, make sure it doesn't fall off the pinion. And just move it over with the Rodico. It's a little closer. Try my best to only do this once and to do the best job possible. That's looking good. Just want to make sure it's seated properly. That looks good. Whoops. Lined up good. Alright. Looking wunderbar. I'll put this minute hand on. It's a very ASMR build today. Not talking much. Sorry about that, everybody, but genuinely trying to do this as perfectly as possible. That's some pretty nice spacing, if I do say so myself. Alright, let's give her a twirl. Looking beautiful. What is that? I'm gonna have to say, well, that's interesting. Seems to line up nicely at the 9. And at 3, maybe it was just the way I was looking at it. Well, what the hell? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Doesn't want to line up at the 6, but that looks pretty dang lined up for 9. That's a new one on me. Sorry, but I bumped the camera again. We're lining up good at noon. Well, that's a problem I need to figure out before we go further. Yeah, it seems like it's maybe 5 minutes out. Interesting. I'm going to figure this out, and I'll be back. Alright, so no panic. We got it sorted out. Just had to move it just a bit. Move it just a bit. So, now for the second hand, which is always the fun part. So, oh, I gotta get myself one of those adjustable benches. Cause I gotta get down on my knees to do this proper like. I really like his choice of hands and dial and everything. It's a good job. It's gonna look super sharp. I'll try and keep you guys in the shot here, but I gotta do this. Alright, just want to make sure that's sitting in the right place. One second here, people. Okay. She's on. I just want to check for tolerances. We look good to the front. We're going to have to lift that up just a little bit in the back. Oh. Y'all know how we do that. I gotta bring my chair back now. Now I'm gonna hold this sturdy in the middle. So it don't move where it is. I'm just gonna lift that tail in just a little bit. And I think that might have it. Let's take a quick look. Just a tiny bit more. Tiny bit. And the reason I hold it in the middle, hold it sturdy there, is because I'm trying not to get the whole thing to dip. I just want to lift up the back end that little bit so it has clearance for the minute hand. Let's see if that was enough. Tell you, it's super close. I wonder if we could get just a little wiggle out of it instead, you know, just give it a little bend forward maybe. And that'll be enough. See, I'm being really pedantic on this one, aren't I? Although, I have to say, there's a lot of behind the scenes you guys don't really see. I mean, I might spend an extra hour cleaning something just because it's bugging me. Or I might go back to, adjust something that I see later. After the build is complete, again, that you guys don't see. I haven't yet made myself one of those fancy schmancy Patreon pages or anything like that where, you can take a look behind the scenes and so on and so on. I haven't done that. I'm not sure if I ever will, to be honest. There, we're clearing nicely now. Alright, just to make sure, give it some life. Let it go around once, make sure everything's clearing, nothing's getting hung up. So far, that's looking gorgeous. Rule number 1, you guys, you can't clean enough. And that's one thing that's like, you do not see behind the scenes, the amount of cleaning that goes on. It's a lot. But, hey, you want a superior product, you do superior work. Oh, see? See what happened there? I can tell you right now. I came forward a little bit too far with that second hand. And that's exactly the kind of thing you're looking for. And now we do it again. In the meantime, I'm going to... Is there a nubbin on this one? No nubbins. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dial dots, 2, and I'm going to put them on this chapter ring. Dial dots. These are dial dots, in case anybody's wondering. Super handy. I mean, if you have the 3M for your bezel inserts, just save the round part. It's exactly the same thing. These just happen to be conveniently cut into little pieces for you. Although sometimes they can be a pain in the rear end to get off of the paper. Now I like to put these kind of on the bottom corner, so you get it partially across the bottom, partially across the back of it. That way it's sitting kind of in 2 places. So like so. I'll put the other one, I'll put the other one on first. Now if you notice, that thing seems to be working okay now. So we've got the alignment right. Dial dots stuck to my fingers. There we go. Get out of here. All right, give me half a second here. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, we're back. We have our dial dots on. Oh, hey. Look at that. Silly me. Now, before I actually put that chapter ring in, I'm silly. I should have waited for half a moment. What I want to do is get this cased up. And the reason for that is the adjustment of the chapter ring and your bezel insert all winds up being to where the movement has to be, right? So if I put this in there just assuming, or if you have even, a chapter ring with the little nubbin, it's not always perfect. So I tend to do things a little different lately, I find. And it's kind of saved me a bit of hassle. And I'll show you what I mean. So now I'm going to get this in here where it needs to be. Like where the movement is going to sit naturally. Okay? Oh, you little bear. There we go. As always, don't ever force anything. Don't believe that's sitting right. No, it's not. Not quite. And if you're pushing down on the movement, only ever push from the movement ring on the edge or from the very center. Well, that's a very tight fit for some reason. It's alright, we'll wind up taking it all apart again regardless. So, now we got that in there in the right place. Just to make sure, we will take a stem and have it all in there proper like. You know the deal. I'm not going to bore you with sizing it today. It will get done. What I want to know right now is this movement in the place where it needs to be? Yes, sirree, Bob. It is. So, now the chapter ring. Now this can be nerve-wracking, tricky, fussy, all of the above, because you got to make sure you're getting it as close as possible, because these dial dots don't give you a lot of extra chances. I mean, you can move it ever so slightly, but try and get it as close as possible first. It's just getting hung up that tiny bit on the crystal gasket. There we go, these ones. Slow and methodical. No slips is what we're aiming for. There we go. That's looking really good so far. Now, that's in there far enough. If there's any gap left, that for whatever reason, as long as it's in the place that I want it to be, which it is, when I press in the crystal, it's going to seat it and hold it there properly. So now comes the fun part. I'm going to make sure everything 100% is lined up. I'm going to 100% clean everything. I'm going to cut and trim that stem, and then we'll be right back to press the gasket, or sorry, press the crystal. Be right back. All right. Well, that was a perfect example of all the tedious nonsense that you guys don't really want to see. Or maybe you do. Let me know in the comments. I cleaned everything up. Like I said, made sure everything was clean, everything's aligned properly, stem cut properly, crystal cleaned up. One last blast from the thingamadoohickey. Now we're going to throw this in here. All right. Sitting nicely. Oh man, that looks so good. That looks so good. You made really good choices on your case, or sorry, well, all of it, case and everything. Okay, you know the drill, you guys. Just a little pressure. Give it the 180. Little pressure. Give it the 180. Now, I'm watching the whole time here to make sure this is seating evenly. And after I go around it, 2, 3, 4 times doing 180s, I'll start doing 90s. Just to make sure. I mean, usually, from what I've noticed, from my experience, if it's gonna go horribly wrong, it's gonna do it pretty much right away. You'll notice it right away. So just stop yourself from going too far. Giving that last extra squeeze or whatever. Don't do it. You'll notice. Just got to be watching the whole time. It's not just a squeeze, oh, it's going to do it itself. No. You got to be paying attention, man. Perfect. Love it. That's seated gorgeously. Okay. Bezel insert. Man, that is blinding. I love it. Here's the bezel insert. We need some 3M for this guy. Now, I always just go around, cut my sticker. I'll do it here on the corner of my working space. Find you give it a good cut, and they'll come right up for you real easy. Otherwise, they sometimes tend to fight. Ta-da! Now, I always put the 3M onto the insert rather than putting it into the bezel. The reason I do that is I want to make sure that the 3M is as far out on the outer edges as possible, because if it happens to stick to the crystal, your bezel will not want to move properly. Oop, hang on. It's not a big deal if it rides up the side a tiny bit, as long as it's on the outside. But like I say, if it's in the middle, you're not gonna be happy about it. Oops. All right. I might actually, you should be okay. I might snip that little bit off, because I don't want the bezel to be, the insert to be sitting up a little higher in one spot than another. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that. Because it'll be fine, it's not going to come off, but I don't want it sitting a little bit higher on one side. That would drive me nuts. I got little bits of paper here from the cuts. Okay. Now make sure that is all the way to the side. I'm gonna stand up, get a good view of doing this. I only get to do this once. These flat bezels, especially when you got it in with a crystal, like, well, this crystal isn't so bad for, well, no, it is. When you have a flat insert, some of these bezels, your insert will just kind of fall in. Like, you could almost just pressure fit them in there, it seems. But once it's in there, it is a pain to remove. Like, you wind up taking the crystal out. Well, sometimes. Not always. Beautiful. That looks so sharp, man. I love what you did. Okay. Make sure that's nice and clean. I don't want nothing in there. I mean, it's a closed case back, but that's not the point. Okay. We are looking good. All right. Now we'll get out case back gasket, spring bars. Get over there, you guys. Okay. There's our case back gasket. I'm going to lube this and get it in here. Stop messing around, you guys. Now I will also, before I case it up, I will take the crown out again and just put a little bit of lube. Make sure there's a little bit of lube on the gasket on the crown as well. just so you know what gets done. Alright. Give me half a second. I will be right back again. Sorry about that, y'all. Thought for sure I heard somebody at the door. Alright. Oh, and I forgot to turn the camera back on. Just took that out. Make sure that was greased as well. Alright. Well, let's get this cased up. Looking wunderbar. I find this so difficult to do with gloves on for some reason. Alright. Screwed in. Get our case back. Okay, what'd you guys do with the case back? No, really. No, really. What the hell did you guys do with the case back? Alright. I got, see, I don't know why I put it away. Hey guys. So, I've been waiting for a while. I've been waiting to get my case backs in so I could finish my guy's watch here. So let's just get this case back on for him and get this bracelet installed so I can get this sent to him. He's been waiting patiently for a while now. So let's finish it up for him. Get our plastic, our case back tool. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. Tight like a toiga. There we go. Another Dad Mod special. I like this watch. This is super nice. We will adjust the bezel after. Grab a brand new strap out of the bin. Actually have some spring bars sitting here, so I'll use these. See if I can get this strap on easier than the usual. Don't ask. Don't judge. I don't know. Struggle with the easy things. What can I say? The harder things are the ones I have less trouble with. Typically in life. There we go. And get this other side on. It's not wanting to bend at all because it's wrapped, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna have to wipe all my fingerprints off of this, but that's okay. Oh, you son of a so-and-so. Yeah. Hard to do over there. I'm trying to bring it closer for myself. There. All done. That looks super duper. Gotta say. I love that sumo dial. Sumo. Samurai dial. That was a really nice choice, man. Very, very, very nice. Jeez, except for all my greasy fingerprints, right? I mean, come on now. What in the world? Unacceptable. There we go. Much better. All right, guys. Well, another one in the bag. Thanks, man. I appreciate your business. I hope you like your watch. I can't wait to ship it out to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. See you again soon. Cheers.